This video was made possible by the EA Creator Network. Hello everyone. Welcome on in. I'm Velvet. Thanks for joining me today in The Sims 4. We're going to be doing a little bit of building today. Also, that is Savio behind me there. There he is. That's Savio up there. He's one of my kitties. And I'm sure he'd be saying hi if he cared because he's a cat. He don't care. Welcome on in. We're going to be doing some building today in The Sims 4. So I thought I'd show you quickly my inspiration for this build and what we're going to be building together today. So this is the little sort of modernish ranch house that I found on Pinterest. You know, I love me some Pinterest. So I thought, you know what, let's try and build this in The Sims 4 today, and maybe we could try doing this with the adventure awaits and the base game only. So let's give it a go. If we're sort of looking at the shape of the build that we have got today, it actually works really nicely with the size of this lot that we have here. So this is Crystal Cottage in the Crystal Cove area of Gibbi Point. So Gibbi Point is the new world that came out with Adventure Away. So let's just do our room tool here. I'm going to go a little in, and we'll go right along and across, because this is quite a long, wide house that we're going to be building. And there we go. That's our basic shape. So let's just start working out what we need to do here. So I think we need to go 1, 2, and then we're going to have a little sticky out part for a window, and then we're going to 1, 2. Then we're going to go into our front door section. So we're going to go one little column, and then that's going to have a roof section that goes out over top, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 wide for the door, and another column that comes out there. So that's going to be stone. And then coming across here, we're going to have another 3 wide for this section. No, sorry, 4 wide for this section here. So this, I think, is going to move up to the same height as this. So it's kind of going to be like a column sticking out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 wide. And then we're going to actually come forward in this instance here. And I think we're going to come forward about 1, 2. And there's going to be a column. So let's match that up there. And we'll come out again 2 wide. And then another column coming in behind here. And then that goes out. And then we'll have one little space that comes out. No, we'll go 2 wide through, coming out through here. And then that is the shape of our house. So then when we're looking at this, we do have a front porch area. So the front porch area is going to be coming in from the columns here. And there's going to be another column around here. So that's going to extend out there, and then it's going to extend through until it meets this area here. So let's get that in place. Yeah, that's looking good. Stairs will run down here. So we're going to run this way, run up through here. And there's going to be a path running along this side as well. So that'll take us through to our side area, where we'll have some more stuff going on when we get to that point. And we might be able to put like a little... maybe a little driveway here. What do you think about that? Just adding like a little driveway. I know cars aren't a thing in the game, but sometimes it does add like this little sense of realism to have a little car park area, perhaps. I might go a little less wide. Okay, so let's go across. And our second floor stops in conjunction with this area here. So we're going to go into roofs, and we're going to select gabled roof here. And I'm just going to use the widening arrow key here, icon. We're going to pull it along with the other widening icon here. So I'm going to use the pitch arrow here, which is the big wide one on top, and go down 1 and then 2. I'm going to match that same pitch in the other areas that we have the gable roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, and then I'm basically just going to paste that roof down here so I have it exactly the same height as what we had on top. So let's bring in this eave. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be holding down shift, and I'm going to move the eave on this side in, just like that. And that just does one side of the eave rather than doing all of the eaves at once. If we get a half-hipped roof, pop that down, and I'm going to shrink that down to a single size, just like this, and I'm going to bring it in so it's as small as it will possibly go, and I'm going to bring it down so it matches the same pitch as this roof. So what that means is that I'm going to take this down by 2. So it's actually important to keep mental count of how much you move things down with roofs as you're building, because I find that allows you to kind of match what you've already done. So I'm going to bring this down by 1 and 2. So if we bring this around through here and down through here, that should match, right? So what I'm going to now do is just hold down shift again, and we're going to move our eaves out, so by 1. And now we're going to bring this eave up here, but we can do both sides because they're going to be the same height. So we just don't need to hold down shift for this one, we just move them up. Now we're just going to copy that. Just going to put it on this section and drag it across, nice and easy to place then. And look at that. So you can sort of see the pitch matches on both sides there. And we've got like a little decorative feature, which is kind of a little bit craftsman-y, having that feature. But it works really nicely here on this roof. The next part is we need a little pitched roof over the top of our window section here. So we're just going to go into a half gabled roof and rotate that, pop it down into place, shrink it down, and I'm going to bring in the eaves on the back side. So holding down shift, bringing down the eaves arrow, and we're going to shrink this down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that should be about right. And then we're going to bring in the eaves on the other side. Boom. Now in the picture that we have little corbels underneath the roof. So corbels are these little things here. So they're decorative corbels, and they basically just add a bit of decoration to a build. Now this is a little big for what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to shrink this down using the left bracket key. And I think left bracket key again, and that should get us to about the size that we need. And we'll do the same on that side. We just need to bring in a little something to match the area up above the door. So I'm going to go like this and like this. We're going to get the roof here that we've already done, and we're just going to simply copy it, paste it up the top, shrink it down to size, and move it so it matches into the roof there. So there we go. We've got our little roof attachments there. So next up, we are going to roof the front area here. So what I'm basically just going to do is a half gabled roof, and I'm going to bring that out so it matches the edge of this porch. So the easiest way to judge that, because sometimes perspective can be a little bit difficult, I'm just going to go into the column section. I'm going to select a column, doesn't really matter which one, and just put that at the end of what is going to be the porch area. And you can see that matches the edge of the roof really nicely. So that's perfect. Let's just delete that. We don't need that for the moment. And now we just need to choose what pitch we're going to have for this roof. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this up, this roof up a little bit. So we've got this section coming out here, and I'm just going to copy and paste it. And it's going to come up on this side. This is going to be the edge of this roof here. And then we're going to stretch that through to the middle. Now the reason that I'm doing that is a neater way of roofing so that you don't have any roofing going through the building. And if you do fancy things on the inside, like platforms, perhaps you are deleting like a section around the stairs, you won't get so many roofing issues basically where roofs come through the wall. Which I'm going to copy and paste that, and then we're going to bring this in, boop, 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 so it's sitting neatly against the edge of this, and then we're just going to stretch it across like that and bring that across because we don't need it all the way there. And then that's our little covered porch section. In the inspiration, what's happening is that this little porch area here actually sinks back a little bit. So what we're going to do with this section is we're actually going to go back a couple, and we're going to stretch out the eaves so they loop over each other a little bit. And then I'm going to copy and paste, stretch it into one, and then bring this back out, bringing on to our last section of roofing, which is this one here. So this is going to be the same sort of dealio as this one here, where we've got like the little section of the cover, and then we've got our little decorative edges down the bottom there, which I'll pull forward. So then around on the side, we have this stretching back, and then that will move into another half gable roof, but this one is just simply down the bottom of the house. So we're going to bring that all the way along like this, bring in the eaves, and we're going to stretch this back so it goes back into the house. Now there is a chimney just up the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go walls down, and that basically gives me the view of the roof. I think our chimney is going to probably sit round about here. And then we go walls up view, and just like that you can sort of see the chimney coming into view there. So we'll do walls down again. I think I want to go too wide for the chimney. So there we go. And we can add like our little chimney on top. That's the color that we want. So I'm going to do 2 chimneys, and then we're going to use a half wall around the chimney. I think we'll go for the very short half wall, 0.75. Let's just try that. And we're just going to draw that around the chimney we do have a matching stone that matches this chimney. So we use this one here. So we can just simply decorate the half wall as we like with the right stone, and then we can do the half wall trim. Now, in the inspiration, there is another little roof just off to the side. It doesn't really stick out, but it is another little roof off to the side. So we're going to add that in, and that's kind of just like too wide. So it's quite a little one. Too wide. Bring it forward a little bit. And I'm just going to bring the eaves down on this one. And again, it has those little decorative pieces. So let's add those in. So there we go. So that's a little tiny one. I think that would actually look better if it was 3 wide, looking at that. So let's just adjust that. And we'll move this one over. Okay, I feel like that's a little better. That's our basic shape for the front of the house. And then what can we do around the back to make it interesting? Because, you know, that's a little boring. So let's add in some balconies. So I'm going to go for my square platform. And I'm going to run it part way along. I'll drop that down lower platform and a build ceiling. The reason I chose square platform over the flat square is that the flat square is just too wide for that space. So now I'm going to go build ceiling. And then I'm going to select platform again. Then I'm going to delete that build ceiling that I did. It just takes away from the doubling up of the layers there, essentially is why I'm doing that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a copy and paste one of the ceilings, one of the roofs from around the front. We're just going to rotate it, and basically by rotating it, we're getting the same front area. I'm almost wondering, what if we did like a little column coming in underneath that roof like this? And I'm almost thinking maybe we do like a little bit that sticks out by 1, and we can do like another little dingling like this. Another little roof. Dingling, technical terms. I'm well known for my technical terms, I feel like. You know, everyone's like, oh, what's that technical term? I'm going to go ask Velvet. I'll be like, yeah, I know it. Ha! Not. Okay, here we go. We've got our little roof sections. Now that we've got the shape for our house, I'm going to go in and we're going to do the floor plan for this house. Because I feel like I want to do that before I sort of plan out my windows a bit. And I think we're going to go with the stairs. We're going to go with the wooden, maybe around about there. Yep, let's look at that. That's a nice area at the top. An easy way to also do a little bit of stair placement is you select your stairs on the second floor or whatever floor, and you select control, and that will take you down a level. And yeah, that allows for easier placement from the top level side of things if you're worried about where things sit on the top level. So down the bottom, we've got our door coming in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build out around our stairs here. So this is going to be our entrance area coming here. This is like essentially our mudroom, right? And we're going to have our stairs coming up here. So what I'd like to do in behind these stairs is just basically build like a little downstairs bathroom. And I feel like, actually, you know what? I might delete this for a second. So I'm almost thinking I could turn these stairs around and lay them down and then just like have them coming out like this. The reason that I want to do that is that then that leaves me the space here where I can create a room. I think I want to make this our living room space. So I'm going to divide that down that way, and that's going to be a living room space that'll go out into a balcony area. And then this could be another room here, possibly a study. And then I think maybe this could be the sort of kitchen dining space in through here, with the possibility that this is a bathroom. You know, honestly, we could actually divide that down here, and this could be just the living room space, living, dining, kitchen, and then some sort of room in through here. So if we go down like this, and then we can create like a little corridor. Just take away that room there. So that's going to be like a corridor that's going to take us through kitchen, and then dining. So dining, kitchen, and then upstairs. I'm just going to draw some walls around the stairs at this point. So it's just going to be some dividing sort of points, and then that's going to go down that way, and it's going to be one bedroom. This is going to be a bathroom. This will be another bedroom up here, and this will be a space for another bedroom. And I feel like we need another bathroom in here, so let's just go bathroom in that space. So bathroom, ensuite there. It's quite a large one, but... and that can be a walk-in wardrobe. Right, we have our floor plan. Now it's time to do our windows. So the colours that we're using for this are sort of greys, browns and stone. So let's go with maybe, I think maybe black windows might work best. We're going to have like maybe a couple of smaller windows, maybe a window coming through here. Some windows there, and we know we've got some windows here, so let's add those in. Might go for like those windows instead. Not super perfect, but kind of like, I feel like they fit the build a little better. I think it's going to end up being this here, but we're going to triple it up, so we're going to stack them up a little bit, and this is where BB move objects really comes into it. And I'm going to reflect the same over on this window here. So we need a rather large door, which would be ideal. I'm thinking maybe this one, the Courageous Cabin double door. You can do that one. And I want to add a couple of windows on the side. So I think we'll use the Glorious Glass window there. And let's see if we can fit a window up above the door as well. Okay, the best one we have is the Modern Awning window, which will sit up above here. So let's go with a grey roof edge, or the black, sort of black roof edge, I think. Then we're going to choose our roof colour. So we've got our roof patterns. It's kind of like a grey shade. I think the black is quite greyish looking, to be honest, in this, but also the blue is quite grey. I'm almost thinking we might go the black swatch just because it's not all that black. You can see it coming together, right? You can see it. I know you can. All right, now it is time to add in our wallpapers. So for the sake of this, we're going to use some Adventure Awaits wallpaper, and we have few options in the wood, so maybe we can go the cozy vertical wood panels. Let's see how they look in a grey. I think we can make that work. So then what we're going to do is add in our stone columns. So this is the stone that we're using, the second one down, and I'm going to bring that into this column here, and then this column here. Now this matches through to the edge of the window, and then we've got like the grey coming in, and then the grey's at the front of this one, but then we have more stone coming in through the side there. And I think we'll do the top section in stone. While we're around the back, I'm going to add in some fencing. So we're going to use the Wanderwood fence, and I'm thinking in the grey will be the way to go. And I'm just going to tidy up that balcony with exterior trim. Let's go thin. There we go. So I'm going to add in something that we didn't have in the inspiration, and that's a little dormer. So the dormers are basically just cute little fake rooms that you can pop in your roofs, essentially. So on the exterior, we're going to add in some gardens around these sections here. So what I'm going to do is go into Terrain Tools, Paint, and Dirt and Sand, and I'm going to paint some dirt in around these sections. We're going to be adding some garden. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add in our plants. And I'm going to bring in the Adventure Awaits debug plants to do this because I want it to match the world, right? So what you just need to do is bring up your cheat menu, which is Shift Control C. Testing cheats true. bb.show hidden objects. bb.show live edit objects. Into the cheat bars, Control Shift C to exit. And what I'm going to type in the search bar is the word debug. I'm going to select one of the debugs here. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to give me access to the secret menu or the secret build menu in Adventure Awaits. And you can see here, there's like all sorts of different things that you wouldn't otherwise get to see without these cheats. I'm going to do a modern garden. So like a modern garden is things like grasses, like this, ferns, like so, maybe like the odd bush. I'm going to add in some of the iconic trees from around the area. And because it's a sort of a beachy style world, I'm going to add in like a couple of pieces of driftwood because we have those as part of the debug menu. I'll also add in some rocks as well. Decorate ourselves a garden. I'll show you guys how it looks when I'm finished. Right, so we have a little garden here. I've just used the ferns and the grasses and just plopped those all around. I'm going to throw in a few more little rocks around the place. I'm going to shrink them down using the left bracket key. Nice to mix in like a few little rockies around the place as well. So this is going to take us through around here, and I think I'm just going to do a little garden off to the side as well. So what we're going to have running down here is a fence. So we've got a couple of fence options here, but I'm going to use one of the high hedgerows from a base game and run that basically all around the exterior of our garden space, which is the space here, to the side of the house and to the side of our path running in through there and in through the house, just like that. I'm going to throw in a gate. So we're going to use the green gate, but then what we're going to do is we're going to stack underneath that one of the wouldn't you like to know gates. And I think I want to do that maybe in the grey. I'm just going to shrink it down by one, and it's going to sit in there like that. So that's a cute little gate idea. Debug, and we'll just find ourselves a nice car that we can use. So here they are here. So let's park in maybe something grey. There we are. I'm just going to add some wooden decking to the exterior here. So I might go with the grey and the grey there, and also the grey here. And we haven't quite finished our porch, but we've finished our landscaping. So let's add our foundation. So I'm just going to use this giant arrow here, and we're going to lift that up by 3. That's going to be our foundation coming in. Let's add in our foundation. So go down to foundation tools down here. We're going to select our matching stone, which is this one here, and we're just going to add that all around the house. So we've got all our foundation all around. Okay, now it's time to add in our stairs. So we're going to add in our stone stairs again. Just because we've got the matching set, I'm going to use the matching set. I love having a matching set, so that makes me extraordinarily happy. What we're going to do is we're going to add in our railing. It's going to be this one here, Wonderwood stairs, and let's add in our columns. I think we'll do it in a dark wood just to match the rest of the house. Not quite the same as the inspo, but I think that'll work better. Okay, we've got our columns, so let's add in the rest of our fencing. So I have the fencing set on place fencing by drawing. I'm just going to do replace fencings, and basically what that means is that I can just put the fencing straight on without having to draw it, which is quite nice. So that's the exterior of our build on that side. We just need to add in, I think, like a little playground. So let's go into our outdoor activities, and I'm going to select a Bamco playground piece short platform. So this is all slottable. I'm going to use the dark brown because that matches the house. When I'm starting with the short platform, I'm going to then use the short stairs that go with it. So that's all accessible for the kids to be able to get up. From there, basically you can build it. So if you want to go like a little step higher, so say we want to go up a notch. So we've got our taller platform. Let's then add in our connector stairs. So make sure that you use connector stairs because that's basically the only way that you can connect the short platform to the large platform. I don't really have the space for a tall actually now that I look at it, so I'm just going to keep it short. So let's have a little bridge and maybe another short platform there, and then that'll give us a ladder coming down on one side, and then let's do a climbing wall coming off the side, and I think we'll have the slide coming up. There we go. Works a treat, and then you can just add in your little fences from around the place there. Now, because we've got a little space here in the center of the playground, I want to add the swing set in through here. So look at how that fits under there. They should be able to swing in there and go back and forth, and that just sits in the middle of the little play set there. And then over in this corner, what I'm going to do is just add a barbecue area so that we have like a little bit of outdoor entertainment for the adults as well. So a little barbecue here in the corner, and a picnic table as well. We did get a new picnic table with the new pack, so let's add that in there. Nice little picnic table. We've got our bin. So let's head inside and get our basic decoration down. So what I'm thinking is we might do a little archway from the hall entrance area into the rest of the house. Let's get some flooring down. I was thinking the hand scraped wood in a mid sort of brown. I thought that might be quite nice. So I kind of want to do the same thing going through from the kitchen into the dining room, just so there's like quite a bit of open flow. And I'm also thinking maybe we have an open flow with columns running through to the dining room as well, and just use columns and spandrels. Use the new spandrel option coming through here. Kitchen, I might repeat that again through here. And hold down Alt to do a little bit more precise placing with your spandrels as well. That's a nice handy little trick. And because that looks weird because I've done that, I'm going to replace out the arches with columns and spandrels. Now I'm going to throw in some lovely little curtains. So I'm going to use the Intense Canvas cabin curtains, I think, here. And I might do like a pale green. So something a little different. I think that might be quite nice. I also think I might go with like a grey brick in the kitchen interior. Again, I think the grey and the green would work really nicely together. And with the tile, I might use the grey, I think. Might go white actually with the tile on the floor. Let's go white. Let's go Simile Park shaker counters. Let's go with those. I kind of got like the greyish effect on them. And just by selecting on the counters on this little section here on the colours, what it brings up is the different options in terms of the types of counters that you can put down. So you can have like end pieces, you can have tile pieces and corner pieces and that sort of thing as well. So there's actually more than meets the eye with some of the counters out here, which is quite cool. Okay, let's add in our lovely oven and we'll pop in a sink. There we go. I'm going to add in my alarms. So I've got my smoke alarm and I've got my fire prevention system utility panel. Now this is the fire sprinklers. I like to put these in behind the fridges. If you've got move objects on, you will be able to do that. I might just pop like a little breakfast bar just right in the corner here. And we'll add in a nice chair. We're going blue and grey. Let's go the blue. In the blue. Maybe. I will go back and I'll add in some clutter. I'll show you all that in the tours. So then we need to add in our dining space. So let's go dining table. We'll go the nice long wooden table that we got with the pack. And let's do that in, let's try the grey wood for now. I'm not too sure how that's going to pattern actually. Let's see, let's select a wallpaper. What if we did the cozy stacked wood panel from Adventure Awaits and did like a really cozy sort of almost interior cabin feel around the place? How do we feel about that? Perhaps bringing the green in. And I'm just going to stack these rugs. Okay, what if we did a pale green in this room instead? That might be quite nice. Let's try some curtains in here. Just see if we can balance that out a little bit. So I'm going to use these Dorm Life panel curtains. Lift them up by one on either side. And what we're going to do is a little trick. Cover up these little sections up here. Okay, so once you've got your curtains in place, type IMM into the search bar. IMM, that's basically short for immaculate. And that's the immaculate shelving. So I'm going to select that in grey. And holding down Alt and Shift, I'm just going to place these as curtain rails right above the curtains. And that hides those ugly tops. And then you've got like quite a nice modern curtain that you can use in your build. Because modern curtains are hard to get with base games. So I find like this little trick actually covers up a few sins as far as the curtain tops go. And makes them look a lot more modern. Right, and you know what, I think maybe I should think about a dark brown on the table and we can see what we've got in the way of chairs to go with that. Okay, so we have some green chairs, so we'll match the table to the chairs. So let's type in the word hutch and basically that'll bring up our dining hutch options for us. I might go, I'm going with the vault one. I think that's the best of a bad bunch. What I'm thinking about is actually going like a slightly darker green in the hallway area just as a bit of a contrast. Ooh, what if I use this instead rather than the dark green? The dark green might be a little bit too vibrant. But we can use this lovely retro luxe tile on the walls. I think that might work quite nicely. There we go. So let's get the interior of our entrance way in. So we're going to do a cute little console table. Oh, actually, you know what? There is. And if you go into objects by function, you go to surfaces, bring up displays, and in displays there will be the Woodland Lodge cubbies. Let's use that in here. And we can pop in a mirror right beside it and maybe another shoe rack in between. Just type in shoe in there and that'll bring that up there. Shrink that down by one and we've got a cute little plant we can put on the corner. I'm going to add in our burglar alarm and some light switches because you need light switches in your house. You really do. Here we are. And we'll add in another light switch for that bathroom. Just do one light switch up there. And I'm going to do a little accent table. We've got these little Curious Campus chests here. I was thinking maybe we could put that under here as like a cute little thing we can have in the entranceway and have a little plant on there. You know, almost we could actually put a lamp in this corner. The Paddler's Pride lamp in the green. Oh, what about the blue? And I think like a cute little rug. We can do the Camp Braid entrance rug, I think, for that. Let's try a little bit of living. And what I'm going to do is add in our TV through to this area here. So a nice wall TV. We'll add our console table underneath. There we go. And you know what I'm going to type in? I'm going to type in Mega into my search bar. And that's going to bring up our Mega wall hanging. I'm just going to pop that in beside our TV, and then what I'm going to go into is our light section and select the Athena's shield wall sconce, and I'm just going to pop that in the middle there just as like a little decorative thing to do with your lamp. What I might do is also go into masonry and just change this to a stone wall in behind here just as a little feature section, and we'll top that off with a column on the corner. So then that leaves us with space to put in our lovely love seat. Lovely love seat. I think we'll do that with a bit of blue and a coffee table. Maybe we'll do that in green because it kind of matches a bit better. And we'll have the rug going in underneath, and I'll do that again in like the green. We're just going to go old school stack rugs. just to get the size we want, because I think resizing is going to be a smidge big. I'm going to type tray into the search bar, and that's going to bring up our Cozy Hot Cocoa trays. Okay, I'm just going to reactivate my debug cheat, and I'm going to type in remote, and that'll bring up like a little remote there that can put on the coffee table, and I think we'll put a little stereo on there as well. Cute. And I'll just finish that off with a line off to the side, and we're going to add in our curtains as well, and we just need like a little picture up there on the wall, and then we've got like a little living area. I think we can probably add in a bookshelf, so I use the Vault modular bookshelf. It's called Industrial Etage, and we'll pop a little chair next to that as well. That'll be cute. And I reckon we can put another little picture above there. Actually, this leaf picture in the brown could work quite nicely there, and we'll finish that off with a nice little rug. Again, a little bit of green there. Let's add in a nice painting up on the wall, do some shelves, or possibly a fireplace. Actually, let's pop a fireplace. We'll put the picture there, and I'm going to bring in the stone wall here. We're going to add in our fireplace, so we can do that fireplace there, maybe in the grey, and I'm going to do some stone on the floor as well underneath the fireplace. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to type in the word fire into the search bar, and what that's going to bring up is the tools of fire that you can pop in beside there. Now I'm going to type wood into the search bar. Now this is a debug item. You'll need to make sure that your debug cheats are active, and down here we have the burning wood, and basically what you can do with the burning wood is holding down Alt and Control 9 or 9 to lift. You can actually stack it up and have like a little bit of base game wood stacked up in your game. I'm going to add in a couple more chairs. Let's maybe go green, and by holding down Alt it allows me to kind of spin the items a little bit. And I think in this middle section here, let's have a games table. This is going to be a family home. And what about a dartboard? So the dartboard is an item from one of the events that we've had in the past. It is a base game item, so it's rather handy to have now and then. And put it into a base game build. So doing a little table there, and we were going to do a games table, weren't we? Oh, you know what we should add down here as well? Nostalgic entertainment system. So that goes with our TV. Actually, you know what? We'll do the cube as well. A couple of gaming options, and there is debug gaming controllers as well. Then we have the got game table. Let's do that, and I'm just going to repeat dining table chairs. Use that for the gaming table, marine perhaps. Okay, for our bathrooms, we're going to repeat what we've done in the kitchen. We're going to use the same tile on the floor, and I'm going to use the same grey tile on the wall. And I'm actually thinking I might change this room here into like a little gym sort of room. Oh yeah, we're going to do that as a study. Okay, so what I'm going to do down in our little gym section is I'm going to use the No Sweat, No Fuss rug. Now this is a locked item, so you'll need your unlock cheat to use this. Do that in a grey. You know what? I'm going to do the green paint in that room just because it's not right for a gym. And let's throw in some mirrors. Let's get in our workout gear, because we got some workout gear with the Adventure Weights pack, so I felt like it would be quite a good thing to have it added in to our house build, because, you know, it's new stuff. It's nice to have. So we can fit our little weight bench right in this nook, so that's kind of perfect. Thinking we can have our spinning bike right front and center. Maybe actually we'll do it like this here, and we can add like maybe a little TV up there that they can watch while they're spinning. We'll add in like there's motivational posters or some fitness chic posters that we can add in. I might add some of those in. Squat and swim. And then what else we got? Wellness, more lifting. Kind of want to go almost like a tile in here, come to think of it. So our weightlifting, go in that corner there, and maybe a little bit of treadmill as well. I might use the locked treadmill because it's actually green, so that works better with our color theme. Right, now let's add in a study. So in a study, what do you want? You want a big old desk. Do like a chair, big heavy desk, perfect. And then we need some bookcases, of course. We'll use the same ones that we used in the living room, except maybe I will put in also a chess table, because chess tables are always handy to have in a lot because you get your logic skill up. There we go. My green chairs again that I use with the dining. Let's see if we can match the color of the... Look, it's not a perfect match as far as wood go, but it's fine. No, I might only do one bookcase in there. I might do like a chair or a little couch or something in there. A little bookcase up above there, a little book lay. And let's get a little couch in beside there with a lamp. Go, and I just need a picture up above that. So I think you just use the new Adventure Weights one. Yes, there we go. This will do the trick nicely. And a nice rug to go in there as well. And something in green. Let's kind of green. That'll do nicely. So the bathroom is going to be the grey brick that we did in the toilet. That we did in the kitchen, not the toilet. Oh my gosh. Wrong words. Okay, go white, and you know what I'm going to put in here? I'm going to put in the bath that we got. This bath is super cute. I actually really love that bath. I'm just thinking, because I'm going to make this into a nursery, maybe we'll get rid of the shower there and put the toilet in instead. Of course, we need the toilet paper. Let's pop that in the side. We'll use our shower bath, and I might pop in a mirror on the side. I'm just going to lift that up a couple, and then I'm going to type in IMM to bring up my immaculate shelving. I'm going to change that to white for this bathroom kind of look. Pop that under the mirror. Then I'm going to go back into here, get the towel storage rack empty, line that up with the shelf down here, and what I'm going to do is get a couple of items to go on there. So I'm going to get the scented candles, and just by holding down Alt, I'm going to move them and drag them across from the shelf. So click on that and drag them across. Some perfumes. Yeah. And I'll just change the color of those, maybe to a blue and a grey. And there we are. We have a nice little thing to go over the bath. I need to say, really need to move this over. Okay. We're just going to have a wee switch around because that door is really not in the right place. And I'm just going to turn the door around so the knob comes in that way. And we'll pop those there and our burglar alarm and everything there. So that should be still all good. But that gives us more space in the bathroom. And what I'm going to do there is just add in our sink. So this is a new one that came with Adventure Awaits, and also a new mirror that came with Adventure Awaits, which is really nice. I actually really love that mirror. And we'll pop in our toothpaste and our hand wash and a cute little hand towel. And I'll do the same in each of the bathrooms throughout the rest of the build. So I'm adding some more towels on the wall and robe. I might just shrink it down by one so it looks like a little kid's robe. We'll do it and do a couple of those, a couple of different colors. You know, little small robes. A cute little trick that you can do with these as well is type in mega, and what you're going to be bringing up is your little mega wall hunk. Just choose the color that you like, shrink it down as far as it will go, and then just pop it like right at the top of the robe, and it just makes it look like, you know, the robe is kind of hanging from the little mega hunk. Here we go. So we've got like a little hanging rack for our robes. So first bedroom, this is going to be our nursery. So I'm going to use the new wallpaper that came with Adventure Awaits, and I'm going to go like pink because I want to do a cute little pinksy nursery room. And the great thing about base game is that it does have a full set of nursery items. So you have your cute little bassinet, so we can have that there. We have our lovely adorable cot, and then we have our bed. Fantastic. Put in like a little end table in between there. Go. I might go with maybe the purple version of that, add on a pop of color. And I'm just going to add in a lamp, a little nightlight. This is from the Friends Forever event, that little nightlight. So that's the essentials for our room. Now I do want to add in a potty somewhere. So we have like a little potty corner, maybe at the end. I usually prefer to put the potties in the bathroom, but I don't feel like we would have the space in this instance. So I'm going to do a little potty space there, and I'm going to put like a little rug underneath it, just in case for accidents, right? The other things I'm going to put in here are a big plushie toy, because those are great for the kids because they can hug them and love them and, you know, all that sort of thing. Big bear. There we go. Big bear. Hopefully they can get into that room okay. And the other thing is I want to do the stack of wall blocks because those are good for toddlers. And the other thing that I want to add in is the VelvettB tablet. WABB. And we'll pop that in there as well. The great thing about the wallpaper that we're using is that you don't really need to add a lot to it to make it decorative. That's a positive thing because we don't have too many decoration options when it comes to base game and Adventure Awaits with kids. So we'll add in some more decoration as I go along, and we'll have a look at that in tours as well. So next bedroom, I thought we could do this as like a little bit more of a boys' room. I'm thinking a little bit more of sort of the blues. I wasn't too sure what color curtains I think we'll go for, but we'll go like the brighter blue. Thinking we can have like a single bed down here, and I'm going to use the Adventure Awaits beds because, you know, they're new and that's fun to use. So we'll use that blue one there. And then I was thinking we can also use the bunk beds as well. But rather than use a bed underneath, we'll put in a desk. There we go. So we've got a cute little desk in there. It's a great way to use the space actually when you put like a desk under there. We'll go with a brighter blue, and we can put like a little laptop under there. Again, that's a locked item, so you will need to use the cheat to unlock that one. And we'll do some little pictures, and I think a rug under there as well will be cute. Thinking we might do the kayak rug. That's cute. And then that gives us space for some toys to put in here because it's a kid's room. Of course you're going to have the toys. That makes the sense, right? It makes sense to me. Lots of toys. And I'm going to put the Defender light in here as well. The Defender light stops the lovely monster from under the bed coming out and harassing the kids. So pop that in your rooms if you're worried about that, and that'll keep the monster from coming out from under the beds. Nice bookshelf. And I'm thinking maybe we'll have a couple of chairs in here. At the end of the bed, I'm going to sneak in myself a little toy box because toy boxes are always very useful. There we go. Some more decoration in as we go, but that should do the trick. Our next bedroom, I thought we could do, you know what we're going to do this as? We're going to do this as the master bedroom, now that I think about it. Because I feel like this has got like the ensuite and it's got like a little dressing room. So yeah, let's do this as the master bedroom. So I thought maybe we could do that with blue tones. Perhaps, if we've got any to work with, maybe brown and blue. Do that in the dressing room. So in the dressing room, I'm just going to keep it simple and use our lovely hang-in wall-mounted coat rack shelves. There we go, dressing room there, and we'll have our little bathroom, so we'll figure that out later. So in the master bedroom, we're going to add in our, what about 2 options for beds as far as double beds go. Let's go with that nice light blue one, and for the side tables I might go the bright blue with our lamp, which is the new one from Adventure Awaits here. Maybe a little picture up above it. There we go, that kind of fits in that little niche properly, doesn't it? So off to the side here, I'm going to use one of the dresses that came with a new pack as well, because they, you know, all sort of fit together, don't they? And then we can pair that with a mirror. It does have like a walk-in dressing area, but I think, you know, like having a little extra dresser never goes astray. That's more for, you know, putting your makeup and that sort of thing on rather than, you know, the clothing side of things. Okay, and then in here, what I'm going to put is probably a couch and TV set. And I might just use the event TV up there and a little console table underneath it, maybe in the lighter color as well. Might put that at the end of the bed. Feel like that's not going to work. So instead, let's go with a little chair, and I'm also thinking frame around there. If there's, yeah, maybe like another chair option over here in the corner too. Again, I'm going to stack the rugs. Then this is going to be a, I think we'll make this another sort of double bedroom. Let's go with that in the green. And the reason that I'm not using the Adventure Awaits curtains, really like the full length ones, is because I don't like putting it bluntly, I don't like them. Let's use the other double bed in this room. And we can maybe use the greenish one. I think the other version was better. And again, maybe we'll use the tray side tables in this room. Yellow might work quite nicely, yellow with green. There we are. A nice picture in behind there. I feel like we can actually probably divide this room into 2 almost, but let's fit in there. I think we've got enough bedrooms in this one. So let's go a dresser, and we'll go like maybe a freestanding mirror might be quite good in this one. You know what we're going to add in? We're going to add in a desk, and we'll use the desk that came with the pack, which I always get around the wrong way. Like every time I'll put that desk around the wrong way, just because it looks like the front should be the back and the back should be the front. I get so confused on it with, you know, with every time around. But you know, that's a me problem, not an anybody else's problem. We'll add in a cute little bookshelf. Oh, what about this one here? Maybe the creamy color. That might work better. What about couch coming in along here in the green with the side table? Oh, I don't think so. I think that might be a little tight for space. You got to be aware of the amount of space that you leave in between things, just because, you know, your Sims are still got to be able to route around it. So, you know, I am quite conscious of the fact that sometimes there might not just be that amount of space that you can, you know, that you need to get around the room if you're not careful. So something I'm always kind of mindful of is the fact that I need to leave enough space around the place. Go in the middle. I might just do like a little table. I mean, little tables like this are quite useful because, you know, you can kind of do homework on them. You can do like a variety of things with you know, little tables. You can have a snack. You can just have a little chat, you know, whatever. Then this is going to be a bathroom in here. And then this is going to be our last bedroom, which is going to be, I think, our next single bedroom as well. So what color should we do? I was thinking, what about if we went brown? Just a little, you know, a little darker on this one. Or maybe a little brown might be quite nice. And we'll pop in one of the single beds. Okay, let's try this one out. I think that might work. And then we'll use our little side table and beside that, our lamp. You know what I'm going to use in here is, there is in surfaces, so like a little hanging table. It's the right color. And then what I'm going to do is type in back. And in back, there's the little backpack. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift it up. So Control 9 or 9, depending on how your PC operates, until it gets to the point where it hangs off the, or round about the hook. There we go, around about the hook. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down until it hangs off that. Beautiful. Change this to match the room in a brown, and look at that, we've got a bag hanging off there. Isn't that a cool idea? It's a cute little trick that I've picked up along the way, and I use that one all the time. Maybe the hanging clothes rack under there. We'll have a shoe rack. Type in shoes, bring up the shoe rack, bring up, of the masculine one. I think that's going to work with this room. And then we'll add in our dresser as well. Pop that in the dark red. Maybe that can go, just conscious of space, but we'll move that around that way. And we'll have a mirror coming in up the side. Might just do that a little too high. Around, better height. And we can add in our beautiful decorations to make that all come together. Come together in the end, yeah. And we just need a rug, and that'll be our room. Righto, that is the main thrust. I'll add in just the last bit of decoration, but that's our house all built together. So I'm going to spend some time just doing the final decorating and all that sort of thing. So come back, join me for tours, and we'll go through and see how all this house finished up. But I hope you've enjoyed building this ranch house along with me today. And yeah, let's check it out in tours. Look at what we built together. Isn't it cool? I think we actually got it looking a bit like our inspiration, so well done to us on that one. I think the little roof points really make that point of difference for this home and just make it, you know, look a little something different from what I usually do. So I really like that. We've got cute little plants on the outside in a modern style garden. And, you know, obviously we've got our car there parked in the driveway, the beautiful cabbage trees dotted around the property, and our lovely play area for the kids, because this is very much a family home. So, you know, we've got to give the kids something to do in our little family home. And this is how the back all turned out. We've got our dormers and our windows, and I love our little columns and our little pop-out sections with the stone on it. It just creates a little point of difference. And here we are on the inside. So this is how it all sort of turned out, fully decorated. And I love that we did a green theme. So the greens and the browns really work quite magically together. And I think we did really well with the decorating, considering that this is a limited pack build, because we've only got base game and adventure awaits to work with. And I feel like sometimes that's a bit of a challenge in terms of getting the decorations to make the house look full. But I think we did all right. So this is how the kitchen finished up with all the little bits of clutter on there. There's a couple of nice kitchen items in the adventure awaits pack, including a blender. This is our gym area. Not too much changed in this room. And the study as well. Again, not too much changed in that room either, because, yeah, I think we got it right the first time. This is the kids' room in the downstairs area. So hello there, kids' room. I think you're cute. Lovely in the blue. We've got a little bit of paper crafting in there, which I absolutely love because that's part of the Adventure Awaits pack. And this is our nursery. So definitely got a lot more decoration in there than what we did during our build together. And I think it looks pretty for it, even though my sim doesn't seem to like that teddy bear. So this is the downstairs bathroom. So this is kind of the guest slash the kids' bathroom downstairs. This is the upstairs landing. So we didn't decorate that during the build. So this is how that kind of turned out. The master bedroom. So we've got our little dresser nook. We've got our ensuite bathroom, and our just the rest of the room just decorated with all the bits and pieces, our TV and our dresser and bits of clutter. This is the second double bedroom that we put together. So again, just added like little bits of clutter around the place just to give it a little bit more life, but nothing really too changed. I did have to change you know, an odd thing here and there with playtesting, but it wasn't too many changes along the way. Anyway, I want to say a big thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed building with me, and a big thank you to you all for watching. Remember, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you next time around. Bye bye.